live. What is up, my friends? Happy Tuesday. I'm Alexandra Harbushka here, founder of Life With Herpes, founder of AlexandraHarbushka.com, founder of the Secret Society Wellness Products. Whole lot of stuff going on here on a Tuesday. I am totally wilted. We were out today looking at countertops for our house, and you go into these showrooms and they're not air conditioned, and it was like 115 today. And so like, I feel like I'm just like so wilted. I'm like slow but surely rehydrating, but oof, it got me. Okay, let's answer the questions you guys have from that I posted earlier on stories. Can my boyfriend go down on me when I have the rescue balm? Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing in there that would be like unedible. Don't eat it per se, but everything's natural. There is CBD in there. I'm trying to think exactly what essential oils are in there, but yeah, I wouldn't sweat it at all. That's one of the things I like about the Secret Society products is that we have, they're all natural. So there's no weird, preservative or something you don't know how to pronounce or like anything in there that's going to be harmful, which is why we have it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I want to go natural. I definitely want to put things in my body or on my body because we absorb 70% of what we put on our body. So I definitely want to make sure that we, take care of ourselves. IV therapy infusion good for herpes. Are you talking about like the vitamins, how they do like the drips? They give you like vitamin injections. I used to do that weekly. A few years ago, I was like super obsessed with it. I don't know if there's any direct correlation with herpes. I do know that they have different ones that will boost your immune system or give you more energy or, help, like vitamin C obviously is really important for our overall immune system. So there's a lot of great things about it. I would say if you want to do it, try it. Like it's just vitamins that they're putting directly into your IV. I know I've done that before and like I immediately feel it. Like I immediately am like, ooh, like it's just like you can feel a taste in your mouth. I don't know. It's kind of a weird flavor. But yeah, I love it. Why do doctors not recommend lysine, but most herpes advocates do? So here's the thing, and this is not all doctors, this is not the medical community at all, but in the medical world, herpes is not a big deal. The stigma is the big deal. The herpes there's way bigger fish to fry medically than there are herpes. So when you're diagnosed with herpes, doctors are like, here you go, here's the antiviral, right? Let's move on to something that is more important. Lack of better words. I'm not saying that our herpes is not important. It's very important to us in our life. But as far as like medically, it's really not a big deal. So a lot of times it's just pushed off the desk, meaning, okay, on to the next patient, right? And that's not all doctors by any means. This is just a lot in the medical field. So as far as not recommending lysine, maybe a lot of them don't know about it. They don't know about alternative, holistic, natural ways to help fight the herpes virus in your body. This is not covered a lot in medical school. Not that I've been to medical school, but I've been told this from other doctors. It's not really covered in medical school. And all they know about is the antiviral. So yeah, that's usually why lysine isn't necessarily totally covered in herpes diagnosis, but yeah, lysine is extremely helpful. What it does is it helps it helps the virus from replicating. When the virus is not replicating, ideally it's dormant in your system. When it's dormant in your system, you're not going to get outbreaks and you're not going to transmit it to your partner. It's when it's active or when it's shedding is when we are contagious and we're going to potentially infect or transmit this to our partner. So yeah, that's the kind of the interesting thing about the lysine. Where did we get Clinton's name from? I love that. My father-in-law, his name was Clinton. He just recently passed. So I'm really glad that Clinton got to meet his grandfather. But, and I learned when I was last there that his grandfather's father was also a Clinton. So it's, but they all have different names. So I do not know Clinton's great-grandfather but he was Clinton Gaylord, Clinton something Gaylord. His grandfather was Clinton Ronald Gaylord. My husband is Clinton William Gaylord, and Clinton, my Clinton is Clinton Michael. So my father-in-law is Clinton, and my father is Michael. We combined them. So yeah, the Clintons have kept the name going, but just not change the middle name. So, yeah, I love it. You know, I love having the history, and I love that we've kept it going. We were like, should we do it? Should we not do it? And we decided to do it. There were some other names we were looking at, but we decided to do it. And my husband, Bill, obviously doesn't go by Clinton. His mom was like, nope, there's too many Clintons in this house. I don't need 2 Clintons. You're going to go by Bill. And it's funny now because, of course, we know Bill Clinton, but has nothing to do with it. It is funny, though, when we're out in public. I'm like, hey, Bill Clinton. And people look at me and I'm like, no, it's not that. So I love that question. Okay, let's see what other stuff you guys have asked me. Is oral herpes the same thing? Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of confusion about HSV1, HSV2, oral herpes, genital herpes, herpes up here, herpes down there, the good herpes, the bad herpes, all these things. At the end of the day, herpes simplex virus is herpes. So oral herpes is the same thing as genital herpes. It's just a matter of the location in which you have it. Most people with oral herpes have HSV1, but a lot of times I think people just haven't been tested. They just go, oh, I have it here, so it's HSV1. So there's just a lot of different things that go with it. Something to be cautious about if you have oral herpes. You are able to transmit it sexually, so it can become an STD or STI. And it can be transmitted via oral sex to a partner. There's a lot of people now with genital HSV1. A lot of people, like most of the people I come across now are genital herpes with HSV1. Hey, Virginia. Okay, look at all my friends are on. I love it. Okay, let's get these. I found that I have HSV1 and was super stressed, obviously, but I never got an actual outbreak. Does that mean it's safe to say I will handle it better and not get cold sores? So that's awesome that you do not get outbreaks, because that means you're asymptomatic. Most people with HSV1 don't get outbreaks very often. I don't know why. It could be the nature of the virus, could be the placebo effect on it's not associated with an STD. I don't know. But yeah, I'd say if you haven't had an outbreak, just roll with it. Just know that you have the virus. You need to disclose it to people that would come in contact with it. But I'd say that's awesome if you're not getting outbreaks. You may or may get cold sores. You may have this. You may have HSV1 orally. You may have a HSV1 genitally. You won't know until or if you get an outbreak. So that's just kind of how that works. Unfortunately, we can't, with a blood test, we can't determine where it's located. I was just diagnosed with HSV1 via blood test, antibodies detected. What should I do if I've never had an outbreak? Does that mean I'll never be contagious? It's so funny. Well, not funny. We basically have 2 of the same questions. You're still able to be contagious. There's 2 times that you're contagious. It's when you have an active outbreak. So you have active outbreak with the blisters and, the whole thing going on. That's when you'd be contagious, or when the virus is shedding. The viral shedding is kind of a weird thing in the sense that we don't know when it's happened. The person that has the virus does not know when they are contagious. So there's no signs, symptoms, tingle, itch, blister, feeling, thought. There's nothing. So we don't know that we're contagious. That's why the majority of transmissions occur without an outbreak. So, so does that mean you'll never be contagious? No, unfortunately, you still are contagious. You're just probably not going to get outbreaks and be contagious via that way. The good news for us is HSV1, the majority of the population has HSV1. So most likely you're going to meet someone that also has it as well. Either he or she doesn't know it, but you're probably going to meet someone with it, which is, not the worst thing in the world. How have your outbreaks changed over time since being diagnosed? My genital outbreaks have gotten way less severe. When I was first diagnosed, it was like Armageddon of my vagina. It was everywhere. They've kind of settled to 2 locations. I just have gotten them in 2 locations now. This is not originally. Originally, it was in the vaginal opening where I would get them. So it was extremely frustrating or painful if you, like, it was on your period and you got to put a tampon in or something like that, or like you sit funny or your jeans hit funny. That would be an uncomfortable situation. Now I get them on my anal opening and I get them on my tailbone. So they're more like paper cuts, or they're more like a pinhead. Like the blister is very small, almost like a pinhead, like a dot, or even like this pillow right here. It's funny. This pillow has little beads, like literally like half the size of a bead. Like I don't even notice it. Or on my tailbone, again, it's like not even an area to discuss. It's not even a big deal anymore. As far as pain, it's not that big of an issue. Yeah, I know it's there, but it's not that like jump with so much pain type of thing. So it does dissipate. It does get better. At least now I know how to treat it as well. Are people living with HSV1 that have probably contracted the virus as a child safe to say we have built really good antibodies against it? Yeah, I mean, HSV1, HSV2 doesn't matter. You will have antibodies if you've, contracted the virus. Typically, if you have the antibodies for one type, HSV1 or HSV2, most people are gonna avoid getting the other type. Unfortunately, it is possible to get both types. I have both types. I have HSV1 and HSV2. It is possible to get both types. But usually your body or immune system will recognize that's what it is. But yeah, it means that, you can still get both. All right, guys, hold on, I gotta listen. Okay. I was listening for Clinton to see if he went down for his nap. Yeah, the whole diagnosis thing, when people are like, I was diagnosed via a blood test or a swab, I don't know where I have it, how long have I had it? The kind of frustrating thing about it, and good news, I guess, is when we're diagnosed via a blood test, via a blood draw, what the blood is looking for is the antibodies. So just to make sure that we all know, herpes doesn't live in our blood. It's skin. It's skin. It lives in our nervous system and it pops up to the surface of our skin. It's not a blood disease. The pros and cons of getting a blood diagnosis is when you do that, you have the antibodies, which means you know that you're not going to most likely reinfect yourself with the same virus. Unfortunately, we don't know where the location is because it is the antibodies. With a swab test, when they do a swab of a culture or wherever it is on your skin, you obviously know because that's like where you have the outbreak, like you have the rash or whatever, the blister going on there. So some pros and cons with that. Can you spread the virus to different parts of your body? Yes and no. So the way that this virus works in our system and the way that our immune system works is if you have a virus infected into your body or you've contracted a virus, our body creates antibodies. When we have antibodies, we're unable to reinfect ourselves with the same virus, similar to like the chicken pox. If we've all had the chicken pox, you're not going to get chicken pox again. You have the antibodies. So you're not going to reinfect yourself with the same virus based on the science that we have now. The thing is, though, is if you reinfected yourself prior to having antibodies, you can infect other parts of your body. So if you don't have the antibodies, yes, it is possible. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Do the blisters always have fluid in them? No, sometimes they're paper cut like things. They can look like a bug bite. They can look like a little rash. I would say if it looks like a pimple and you can pop it, like pus comes out, not fluid. It's a fluid-filled blister. So like if it's like pus, like a pimple, then that's probably an ingrown hair or a pimple. But if it's like fluid comes out, that's most likely herpes. All right, guys, I am going to go. I just want to thank you for joining. I loved the Clinton question. That made my day. I will see you all soon. I am speaking at a virtual event coming up here with Herpes Could Never. So if you would like to join, see me speak, see other cool people speak, I will link it here. You can purchase your tickets. Also, you can purchase tickets, link in my bio to join the Herpes Could Never event. And of course, we have our Life with Herpes retreat coming up here in Las Vegas. I was just off shooting some footage for it with Suwasit, our exotic dancer, our dance instructor. I was off shooting some footage with him today. so much fun. I cannot wait to see you guys if you are joining July 30th, 31st, and August 1st here in Las Vegas. We're going to have a blast, you guys. It's going to be so much fun. All right, link in my bio to purchase tickets if you haven't purchased. I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.